So today is house concerts. We're going to start with this, and I'm excited because it's something that I've often thought about getting into the realm of it. I want to look at it today from the artist's point of view, which is why we have Megan Slankard, and then I want to look at it from the presenter point of view, because that's why Casey is here. And I think obviously most people are here are going to be wanting to hear about it from the artist's point of view, but I think it's also very important to understand it from the presenter's needs. And I think that whatever you hear here in terms of a presenter's needs also applies to a whole lot of other venues. So get your pencils out. You and all that.
So my name is Casey Turner.
As he looks at his name tag, are you sure?
He's that guy.
I think so. I was just making sure.
Okay.
Today.
That's
What personality? I live in San Francisco. I'm a promoter and booking agent there, and I've been doing it for a while, full time though, only just since the beginning of this year. But house concerts are kind of what initially got me into doing that. A friend of mine, Drew Pierce, who hosts house concerts in the Bay Area, his series was the first one I ever attended, and it was right when I moved out here in like 2005. And I was just like, the whole concept, it really blew me away. I was like, this is really, really cool. And so after a year or so of going to his shows, I was like, man, I kind of want this person to play in a house concert, and this person. And so instead of just asking Drew to do it, I just started doing my own house concerts. And they slowly kind of I did them in my little one-bedroom apartment when I used to live in Nevada. And it kind of started from there. And I really got excited, and people have come and was like, oh, these are great. I like the music. I never heard of this person. So that kind of snowballed into being a full-time promoter today, which is something I would have never thought I was going to do. So that's my basic background in the promoting. But aside from that, I also book for a handful of artists, including Megan, and I host open mics and this house concert series, and then sometimes I play music too. So it's kind of like a sorry.
No, go ahead. Well, touch for a moment on when you say you are now a booker and promoter.
Yeah.
I mean, just go there for a second. So this launched you to bigger other venues?
I haven't done a ton of big venues. I presented a show at Cafe de Nord in July, which was super successful. We sold out, and it was amazing. But those kind of venues, and when you do that, it's like a big risk, and it takes a ton of work. Like I didn't do anything for the entire month of July. No house concerts, no shows, nothing. All I did was talk about Cafe de Nord, which is great. It was fun, but I can't do that. It's so exhausting. Whereas the house concerts, every show I do in a house concert, it's like a shared promotion. So I promote it, I put it on my website, but also the artists are working it for me too. So it's no pressure because I don't have to make there's no contract there saying, okay, we have to make this much money and this many people have to come, or we'll never book you again. I run the house concerts, so it's like I'm in charge of that. So it's kind of like I'm in control. So.
Well, in a minute, I'd love to circle back around to that the house concerts is a low risk situation. The minute you start going out to other venues for the presenter, it becomes a higher risk situation.
Totally.
So, okay, Megan, talk a little bit about you and why house concerts.
I'm an independent artist. I grew up in Tracy, California. I don't even know if all of you know where that is, but it's a tiny town on 205. And I've been working my butt off trying to, I like the independent thing, and to me, I feel like the small community-based movement is why house concerts are so great for artists such as myself. I just feel like the fact that one can play their original songs for a captive audience is invaluable. It's just so important, and it's so important for artists, and I feel like it's really important for people. There's a world with so many different kinds of media, and hard to focus on one thing. I know myself, if I'm anywhere with any kind of lagging time, I'm like, oh, let's see what's on my phone, and let's see if I got any emails. So it's really nice to be able to sit down and share something I've created for people who want to hear it. And I feel like it takes a special kind of person to sit there and focus on one thing. I mean, like, I feel like we all have that special person inside of us, but I know that my inner ADD comes out all the time. But I feel like the house concerts is a way to bring it back, bring it back to just a time where everybody can, share in art, and it's important. I feel like it took me a little while to get into house concerts because I did a lot of trying to find out who I was and trying to do rock shows, which I absolutely love. It's kind of the opposite, where you're a rock show and people are having fun, it's a loud venue, you're playing for people who are getting drinks at the bar. But a house concert is, you sit there and you could hear a pin drop because everyone is that respectful. And it's frightening. It's so frightening. If you make a mistake, then everybody sees it. But you know what that makes you? It makes you human. And I feel like there's such a difference between being human at a concert and being that star on a stage. I absolutely love being a human being with other human beings. It's beautiful.
Gosh, I'm writing so much good stuff down, but a couple good points is, and what you just said is that the different kind of audience completely, and it's a more of a human at the
it is
very base level.
Amazing.
It's much more of a human interaction, not the star thing. Then into some of the meaty parts of how this gets set up, because I think that's everybody here probably wants to be that independent artist and touring, and we'd love to set them up. So let's get started from that point of view, and again, from how you would set it up and how you as a presenter find one. So what is the perfect venue for a house concert? How do you recruit? If I wanted to start a series, how would I do it?
Well, the size of an open space would depend on the kind of show you're doing. So when I first started doing these, I was doing like local people that we might be able to draw 20 people, So my 1-bedroom place with the living room plan worked, But lately, I've been getting into getting more household name people to build the market up for it. And so I need places that can hold like 100 people. Which
You still call that a house concert?
yeah, it's
Absolutely.
someone's
It would be in a
house.
house
It's just a nice house.
Be a nice house.
Just someone's
Lots
nice
of chairs.
Like for example, today, tonight I'm hosting a show with this guy named Sean Hayes, and we've got 100 people coming, and it's at a friend's house in San Rafael. It's an outdoor one, so it's going to be in our backyard. Still a house concert. It's as organic as it gets. It's not a venue. You're going to get to meet him probably, and you're going to sit there and everyone's at the same setting, kind of what she was touching on, like the tasteful, everyone's there for music, and then social next, for the priority list. So to get one set up, I would say if you're trying to set one up yourself or someone that you think might it'll fit, first of all, think about how many people might go, and then look at the layout. Do you want to have it with folding chairs everywhere? Do you want to have everyone sit on the floor? Like the space itself, and then the location of the space. Is it a place people are going to drive to? Is there parking? Basically like a venue in a sense.
It's like having a party.
What's that?
It's like having a party.
Kind of, but not really, because like we actually just had a party last night, and that was a party. There was like beer everywhere, and like people were talking and running around. Someone dropped this, and they're eating food. This is like a show, and you get there, and there is social gathering like a party, but it's like totally way more mellow. Yeah, there's wine and stuff there, but it's not like rager. You're not doing big sounds or anything.
So,
could, I guess.
Does your host, the person, do they have costs involved in this, that they're bringing in the chairs and all that stuff, or is there as whatever you take at the door, does that get held back a little bit to reimburse the host?
So the host actually,
Maybe just list the host's responsibilities.
Okay, it depends. Again, that varies from situation to situation. The shows I host, I actually have a friend that owns a ton of fold-out chairs. So I go and pick up those chairs and I bring them to the house. Honestly, the person who's opening the home does not make any money back from that, but they also aren't spending any money. They're just opening their home, and they want the good vibes in their house. And also, these houses are huge, and they really don't need $100. They're doing fine. The musician is the one who gets that cash, and that's the person that really needs it. So they're really cool with doing that. But I will say this, the other day Megan played a house concert in the East Bay, and this person hired a bartender, they hired
It was crazy.
caterer, and like they rented chairs and they had everything, you know. But that was their choice. They wanted to have a setting for their friends that they were paying for, and that they didn't want any money for that. That was they wanted to do that.
If I could interject on that point, the cool thing about being a host for a house concert is you can customize it to whatever you want. You can go all out, you can have it super casual, and it doesn't matter to the artist because the artist is just thankful for the venue, and so it doesn't. The host is really can go as extreme as he or she wants.
As long as they understand that they need to bring everyone in for the show, because that's the whole
Right.
concept, is the nice atmosphere,
The
the
music.
tentativeness of the audience, and you have to, people are hanging out with a bartender and a catering service, you got to round them up, you know. And the shows I usually host, I kind of take care of all that work. Like I go and I set up the chairs, and I get there. Like today, I'm gonna get there around 3 or 4 and set everything up. And the people that we're doing it with, they actually have a little stage and sound system, which is kind of cool in their backyard. That's not usually the case. Usually I'm working all the behind the scenes, and all the host is doing really is letting us invade their home for like 4 hours and then kicking back, and then I stick around, always clean up the place, and I'm there from start to finish, like when I'm presenting the show. The artist isn't, but I am.
Well, I think that's an important point for everybody to make sure if they're going to do a house concert to ask what's happening that night. Am I just showing up to a small room and going to play, or am I showing up and it's a party with all this stuff? Because if it is a party, you really want to make sure you tell that host.
Yeah.
You need to do an introduction, you need to dim the lights, get people to sit and make it because otherwise it's lost its house concert feeling. But you as an artist would probably need to communicate
There's some
that.
great videos on that on YouTube. My friend, his name is Fran Snyder, and he runs a website called concertsinyourhome.com.
Yeah.
And he's a really nice guy, lives in Lawrence, Kansas, and his concept of doing the house concert thing is really kind of broken through to another level of a host and artist connecting. You should definitely check out his website, concertsinyourhome.com.
Your heart?
No, I actually, if you took how many hours I put into it, because it's not just setting up and breaking down. I'm actually promoting the show. If any of you guys are on my Facebook, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, let's
Some of you
move
may
on
already
to
believe me.
promotion. I want to.
But you know, so like, I made these flyers. I have them designed, printed. I mean, I invest cash into this, definitely. I would say if you add up all my hours, like it's almost like technically breaking even. Although I kind of treat it like, I'm a booking agent, so I work out a booking fee of the whole thing. So say I book people 15%, that's kind of how it works for my end, just depending. But every show is different. There are plenty of shows I've done where I don't take a penny and I actually spend money. Like when I do big people, like when I host like Matt Nathanson or like Bob Schneider or the Mother Hips, like those kind of bands are special for like a house concert.
Can I get Matt Nathan's by chance?
Yeah, it already happened, but it was those are things you don't see. You don't see those kind of people in a setting. So that's like another level of house concert. What I've been going for this past year is like, it's great to share new music and local artists getting a chance, but from a fan perspective, to see someone like Sean Hayes or Matt Nathanson in a living room, that is like
Incredible.
super special. It's like you don't get to meet him at shows. You don't get to see him 10 feet from you when everyone's quiet, playing unplugged or barely PA'd at all. So it's those kind of things. Like, well, you want the artist to come away with not only a great experience, but you want it all to be in their favor, and you want them to hopefully do it again. And for me, the payout there is the fact that I'm building a brand. Casey Turner House Concert Series gets people like Matt Nathanson, so that can build up people who like to see live music, and then therefore I can do a show with someone who's no one's ever heard of, and hopefully get a draw for that.